10 Stoic principles so that nothing can affect you. There is a level of calm, a level of control, a level of inner peace, where nothing shakes you anymore. Not insults, not rejection, not failure, not even loss. Most people spend their entire lives reacting to people, to emotions, to situations they cannot control. But a few, a very few, learn something different. They become unshakable, not because life becomes easier, but because they become stronger than anything life throws at them. This is the path of Stoicism, a philosophy practiced by men like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, men who faced war, betrayal, exile, and death, yet remained calm, focused, and in control. In this video, you will learn 10 Stoic principles that will train your mind to become untouchable. By the end, you will not just understand them, you will begin to live them. Take a deep breath, because once you understand this first principle, your life will never feel the same again. Control what you can, ignore what you can't. There is one truth that separates the strong from the weak. Some things are within your control, and some things are not. And most people suffer because they confuse the two. You cannot control what people think about you, what they say behind your back, whether someone loves you or leaves you. Unexpected problems, losses, or bad luck. But you can control your thoughts, your actions, your reactions, your attitude, and this is where your power lies. As Epictetus said, some things are up to us, and some things are not. Simple, but if you truly understand it, it will eliminate half your stress overnight. Imagine someone insults you in public. A normal person reacts instantly. Anger, embarrassment, ego. But a Stoic pauses and asks one question: is this within my control? The insult, no. The other person, no. But your reaction, 100% within your control. Instead of saying, why is this happening to me? You say, this is outside my control. I choose my response. And suddenly, you are no longer a victim. You are in charge. Every time something bothers you, pause and mentally divide it. Control versus no control. If it's not in your control, drop it. Not later, not tomorrow, immediately. Think about how much energy you waste every day, worrying about people's opinions, overthinking conversations, reliving past mistakes. None of it changes anything. It only drains you. The Stoic does not waste energy. He invests it only where it matters. And that's why he becomes powerful. Repeat this daily. I control my mind. I control my actions. Everything else is noise. Master your emotions. You don't suffer because of events. You suffer because of how you interpret them. Two people can go through the same situation. One breaks down, the other becomes stronger. What's the difference? Their perception. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Your emotions are not enemies. They are signals. But most people let signals become commands. Anger tells them to attack. Fear tells them to run. Sadness tells them to quit. A Stoic listens, but does not obey blindly. You get rejected. Most people think, I'm not good enough. And they spiral. A Stoic thinks, this is one event. It does not define me. Same situation, different mindset, different outcome. Whenever you feel a strong emotion, stop, breathe, observe it. Say, I feel anger, but I am not anger. That separation is power. Your emotions are temporary, but your reactions, they create permanent consequences. One moment of anger can destroy years of progress. That's why control is everything. The world will try to provoke you. People will test you. situations will frustrate you. But if they can control your emotions, they control you. And the Stoic refuses to be controlled. I feel deeply, but I act wisely. Now imagine, if you mastered your reactions and your emotions, what else could still disturb you? In the next part, you'll learn how to become mentally untouchable, even in the face of pain, loss, and chaos. By now, you understand something most people never do. You control your reactions. You can master your emotions. But there is still something that shakes even strong people. Pain, loss, unexpected hardship. So the question becomes, how do you stay unshaken when life hits you hard? This is where the next principle changes everything. Pain is not your enemy. It is your teacher. Most people run from discomfort. They avoid hard conversations, difficult challenges, emotional pain, failure, but in doing so, they stay weak. Because strength is built only one way, through resistance. Seneca once said, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? A Stoic asks, what is this trying to teach me? That single shift turns pain into power. You lose something important. A relationship, an opportunity, a chance you really wanted. Most people collapse emotionally, but a Stoic reflects, what did I learn? How can I grow? How do I become stronger from this? Pain becomes fuel. Train yourself to handle discomfort before life forces it on you. Do small hard things daily. Cold showers, waking up early, skipping comfort. Doing what you avoid. This builds mental toughness. Think about this carefully. Every strong person you admire was shaped by difficulty, not comfort. Comfort creates softness. Struggle creates resilience. So when life becomes hard, that is not a sign you are failing. It is a sign you are being forged. Pain is temporary, but the strength you gain from it stays with you forever. I do not fear pain. I grow through it. Now imagine this. You control your emotions. You grow through pain. But there is still one thing that quietly controls most people. Something subtle. Something dangerous. You suffer not because you act, but because you expect. Most people tie their happiness to outcomes. I'll be happy when I succeed. I'll feel good when they accept me. I'll relax when everything goes my way. But life doesn't work like that. Outcomes are unpredictable, and when you depend on them, you become emotionally unstable. Epictetus taught, do not seek for events to happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do happen. Focus only on your effort, not the result, because you control effort. You don't control outcomes. You apply for a job. You prepare. You show up, you do your best. But you don't get it. Most people feel disappointment, rejection, self-doubt. A Stoic thinks, I did my part. The outcome is not mine. And moves forward calmly. Before doing anything important, tell yourself, my job is to give my best. The result is not mine to control. This removes pressure and increases performance. Think about how much anxiety comes from expectations. You expect people to behave a certain way. You expect life to go according to your plan. You expect fairness, but reality doesn't care about your expectations. And every time reality disagrees, you suffer. The Stoic eliminates this suffering by letting go. You don't control success. You control preparation. You don't control recognition. You control effort. You don't control outcomes. You control action. I focus on effort. I release the outcome. Now think about this. If you can control your reactions, master your emotions, grow through pain, detach from outcomes, What is left that can disturb you? There is one final layer, the opinions of others. And in the next part, you will learn how to become completely unaffected by what people think about you. You've learned how to control yourself, but the world is still full of people judging, talking, criticizing, and for most people, that's enough to break them. So here's the question: what happens when you stop caring what people think? What others think about you is none of your business. Most people are controlled by invisible chains. Fear of judgment, fear of criticism, fear of rejection. They don't speak freely. They don't act boldly. They don't live fully. Why? Because they are living for other people's opinions. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." People are not thinking about you as much as you think. They are too busy thinking about themselves, their fears, their problems, their insecurities. So why give their opinions power over your life? You want to start something, a business, a YouTube channel, a new path, but then thoughts come. What will people say? What if they judge me? What if I fail publicly? And just like that, you stop. A Stoic does the opposite. He acts anyway. When someone criticizes you, ask, do they live the life I want? Do they understand my journey? Does their opinion truly matter? If the answer is no, dismiss it instantly. Think about how many dreams die, not because people lack ability, but because they lack courage. And that fear, it comes from giving too much importance to people who don't even matter. The Stoic understands something powerful. Opinions are cheap. Everyone has them. But very few have wisdom. You don't need approval. You need alignment with your values. That is enough. I respect my own judgment more than the opinions of others. Now imagine this. You no longer care about opinions. You are not controlled by emotions. You are not shaken by pain. But life still has one final weapon, the unexpected. Loss, change, chaos. How do you stay calm when everything goes wrong? Accept everything as it is. Don't just accept life. Love it. Most people fight reality. They say, this shouldn't be happening. This is unfair. I don't deserve this. But reality doesn't change because you resist it. It only creates more suffering. Epictetus taught acceptance, and Marcus Aurelius lived by it. This idea is called amor fati, love of fate. Instead of saying, I hate this situation, you say, this is exactly what I need to grow. Not tolerance, not resignation, acceptance. You lose something important. Instead of, why me, you say, this is part of my path. And you move forward, calmly. Whatever happens, train your mind to say, this is working for me, not against me. At first, it feels unnatural. But over time, it becomes your strength. Life will not go according to your plan. It never has. It never will. There will be moments you didn't expect. Pain you didn't prepare for. Loss you didn't deserve. But the Stoic does not resist. He adapts. He flows. He uses everything as fuel. The obstacle is not in your way. It is the way. Every difficulty is shaping you. Every challenge is refining you. Every setback is preparing you. I accept everything. I turn it into strength. Now look at who you are becoming. You control your reactions. You master your emotions. You grow through pain. You detach from outcomes. You ignore opinions. You accept reality. At this level, very little can disturb you. But to become truly unshakable, you need the final layer. Discipline, mortality awareness, inner independence. At this point, you are already different. stronger, calmer, more aware. But to become truly unshakable, you need discipline, you need perspective, and you need complete inner independence. Your feelings are temporary. Your actions define your life. Most people live like this. I don't feel like it today. I'll do it later. I'm not in the mood. And that's why they stay stuck. Because feelings are unreliable, they change constantly. Epictetus taught, you don't rise to your desires, you fall to your habits. Instead of asking, how do I feel? Ask, what must be done? And then do it regardless of mood. You need to work, but you feel lazy. A normal person delays. A Stoic starts anyway, and something interesting happens. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. Pick 3 daily actions that you must do, no matter how you feel. Work, exercise, learning, no excuses, no emotions. Just execution. Feelings are comfortable, but they are dangerous leaders. Because if you only act when you feel like it, you will never reach your potential. The Stoic understands this. Discipline is freedom. Because when you control your actions, you control your life. Now imagine, you are disciplined. But there is still one illusion that makes people weak. They think they have time. Unlimited time. But the Stoic knows something different. You are not here forever. And that is your greatest advantage. Most people avoid thinking about death. They distract themselves. They delay the goals. They waste time, because they believe, there's always tomorrow. But there isn't. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily. You could leave life right now. When you remember death, everything becomes clear. Petty arguments feel meaningless. Fear becomes smaller. Time becomes valuable. You're hesitating. To start, to speak, to act. Now ask yourself, if today was my last day, would this matter? And suddenly, clarity appears. At night, ask, if today was my last day, did I live well? Not perfectly, but meaningfully. Death is not something to fear, it is something to remember. Because it removes illusion. It removes delay. It forces truth. And the truth is, you don't have time to waste. So stop waiting. Start living. Now you are disciplined. You value time. But there is still one final dependency. People, approval, validation, attachment. To become unshakable, you must stand alone. The less you depend on others, the stronger you become. Most people rely on external things for happiness. Validation, attention, relationships, approval. And when those things disappear, they collapse. Seneca believed. True strength comes from within. Enjoy people. But don't depend on them. Appreciate things, but don't attach to them. Because anything external can be taken away. If someone leaves your life, most people feel empty. A Stoic feels gratitude for the experience, but remains whole. Instead of asking, do they approve of me? Ask, am I proud of myself? That is enough. When you depend on nothing, you fear nothing. Because nothing can be taken from you. That defines you. That is true freedom. I am enough on my own. Now, there is only one final step. The ultimate goal of Stoicism. Peace is not found outside. It is built within. Most people chase peace through success, through money, through relationships. But none of these guarantee peace. Because peace is not external. It is internal stability. Marcus Aurelius said, "Nowhere can man find a quieter place than in his own soul." At this level, you don't react impulsively. You don't depend on outcomes. You don't fear opinions. You don't resist reality. You simply remain calm, no matter what happens. Spend time daily in silence. No phone, no noise, no distraction, just you and your thoughts. That is where peace is built. The world will always be chaotic. People will always be unpredictable. Life will always have challenges. But inside you, there can be stillness. A place nothing can touch. And once you build that, you become unstoppable. I am calm. I am in control. Nothing disturbs my peace. Sit with this for a moment, not just as information, but as truth. Because most people will hear everything you've just learned. And go back to living the same way. Reacting, overthinking, chasing approval, avoiding discomfort. But you're here for a different reason. You want control. Not over the world, but over yourself. And that is far more powerful. Most of your stress comes from one mistake: trying to control what was never yours. Think about it. You try to control how people see you, how quickly success comes, how life unfolds. But life doesn't obey your expectations. And every time reality disagrees with you, you feel frustrated. But here is the truth. You are not disturbed by events. You are disturbed by your expectations of them. Let that sink in. You expected loyalty. So betrayal hurt you deeply. You expected success. So failure broke your confidence. You expected fairness. So reality felt cruel. But what if you removed the expectation? What if you simply said, "Whatever happens, I will handle it"? That is power. Your mind is like a muscle. If you don't train it, it becomes weak, reactive, undisciplined. But if you train it daily, it becomes sharp, calm, unshakable. Every day, you are either strengthening your mind or weakening it. There is no neutral. Morning. Before you touch your phone, say this quietly: "Today, I will face difficulty. People will be rude. Things may go wrong, but I will remain in control." This prepares your mind. Afternoon. When something goes wrong, pause. Don't react immediately. Observe. Control the moment. Night. Reflect. Ask yourself, where did I lose control? Where did I stay calm? How can I improve tomorrow? This is how you evolve daily. Someone disrespects you. Your ego reacts instantly. You feel anger, tension. The urge to respond. But pause, because this is your test. Step 1. Ask yourself, is this true? If yes, right pointing arrow, improve. If no, right pointing arrow, ignore. Step 2. Ask, does this affect my character? If no, right pointing arrow, it's irrelevant. Step 3. Choose calm over reaction. An insult is only powerful if you accept it, otherwise, it is just noise. And the Stoic treats noise as silence. This is where many people struggle, because attachment feels natural, but unhealthy attachment creates suffering, the more you depend on someone emotionally. Stoic still loves, but differently. Not with desperation, not with fear, but with awareness. You appreciate people, but you understand something deeply. They are not yours. Most people talk too much. They explain, they defend, they react, but the Stoic understands silence. It prevents emotional reactions. It creates mystery. It gives you control. Next time you feel the urge to react, say nothing. Observe what happens. You will feel a new kind of strength. There is something powerful about a calm person. They enter a room, and they don't need to prove anything. They don't seek attention. They don't react emotionally, yet people feel their presence. Because calmness signals control. And control signals power. When you stop reacting, people notice. When you stop chasing, people respect you. When you stay calm under pressure, people trust you. Rejection hurts, but only if you misunderstand it. That opportunity you lost, that person who left, that door that closed, was not meant for you. And the sooner you accept that, the faster you move forward. Pay attention to how you speak to yourself. Because your mind is always listening. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. Always fail. These thoughts weaken you. This is difficult, but I can handle it. I am learning. I am improving. Your mind believes what you repeat. So choose your words carefully, because they shape your reality. Most fear is not real. It is imagined. You fear what might happen, what people might say. What could go wrong? But none of it is happening right now. Fear lives in the future. Power lives in the present. So return to now and fear disappears. At some point. This is no longer something you practice. It becomes who you are. Calm under pressure. Focused on what matters. Detached from negativity. Emotionally controlled. You no longer chase validation. You no longer react to everything. You no longer fear discomfort. Because you understand something most people never will. Nothing outside of you has power over you, unless you give it permission. Take a deep breath, and reflect, how different would your life be, if nothing could disturb your peace? No anger controlling you, no fear stopping you, no opinions limiting you, just clarity, control, calmness. This is not impossible. This is not reserved for a few. This is trained, built, earned. And starting today, you begin. Look at who you are now. You are no longer controlled by emotions, opinions, fear, outcomes. You are grounded. Focused, unshaken. This is the Stoic path. Not easy, but powerful. And if you truly live these principles, there is nothing in this world that can control you again. Control your mind, and you control your life. You don't control the world, but you control yourself. And that is enough. Why most people never change. Let's be honest. Most people will hear powerful ideas like this, feel inspired for a moment, and then go right back to their old habits. Why? Because change is uncomfortable. And comfort is addictive. They say they want peace, but they keep choosing chaos. They say they want discipline, but they keep following feelings. They say they want control. But they keep reacting to everything. Truth. You don't become strong by learning. You become strong by practicing. Daily. Consistently. Without excuses. Repeat this slowly, multiple times with pauses. I am responsible for my mind. I am responsible for my actions. I am responsible for my life. Pause. Again. I am responsible. There is a space between what happens to you and how you respond. And in that space is your power. Right now, think of the last time you reacted emotionally. Maybe you got angry. Maybe you overreacted. Maybe you said something you regret. Now imagine you paused. Just for 3 seconds. Breathing, observing, choosing. That pause would have changed everything. And that is the difference between a reactive person and a stoic. Most people are addicted to drama. They don't even realize it. Constant arguments. Overreacting to small things. Needing emotional highs and lows. Seeking attention through conflict. Drama feels intense, but it drains you. Peace feels quiet, but it strengthens you. Stoic choice. Even when drama is tempting. Especially when it is tempting. Betrayal is one of the hardest things to deal with. Because breathing up you trusted them. You believed them. You didn't expect it and then it happened. People act according to their nature, not your expectations. Instead of saying, they shouldn't have done that, say, that's who they chose to be. And move forward. Inner release. You don't forgive for them. You release for yourself. Because holding anger only poisons you. Because holding anger only poisons you. This is one of the biggest traps. Living for approval. You post something and check how many people liked it. You do something and hope people agree. Truth. If your happiness depends on approval, you will always feel unstable. Do things because they are right, not because they are praised. Many people fear being alone. But a Stoic learns to use his loneliness is not the absence of people, it is the absence of connection with yourself. Stoic practice. Alone. No distractions. No noise. Just your thoughts. At first, it feels uncomfortable. But over time, it becomes peaceful. Your thoughts shape your reality. So you must discipline them. Observe your mind. Notice how often you think. Negative thoughts. Fearful thoughts. Doubtful thoughts. Your mind is like a garden. If you don't control what grows, weeds will take over. Replace "I can't," right pointing arrow, "I will try." This is hard, right pointing arrow, this will make me stronger. The past is gone. But many people still live in it. They replay mistakes. They relive pain. They hold on to regret. Stoic truth. You cannot change the past, but you can change how you respond to it. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" Mental toughness is built, not given. How it's built: facing discomfort, doing hard things. Staying consistent, controlling reactions. Every time you choose discipline, you get stronger. Every time you resist weakness, you grow. Imagine this: you are walking through life. People talk, situations change, problems appear, but you remain steady. You walk calmly. Your mind is quiet. Your emotions are stable. Nothing pulls you off your path. This is the Stoic way. Let the words settle. Let the mind slow down. Let the emotions quiet. Repeat softly: I am calm. I am in control. I am steady. Remind you again. Slowly, deeply, clearly, you cannot control everything. But you can control yourself. You cannot avoid pain, but you can grow from it. You cannot stop people from judging, but you can ignore them. You cannot control outcomes, but you can control effort. You cannot control life, but you can control how you live it. If you remember nothing else from this video, remember this: your mind is your greatest weapon, or your greatest weakness. Train it, and nothing can break you. Ignore it, and everything will control you. So choose wisely. Nothing has power over me, unless I give it power. There is a moment, a quiet, almost invisible moment, where everything changes, not outside, but inside you. It's the moment you realize. You don't have to react. You don't have to chase. You don't have to be controlled. For years, maybe your entire life, you've been reacting to people, to emotions, to situations, like a leaf blown by the wind. But now, you see something different. See something different. You see the space, the choice, the control. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it, breaking your old identity. You are not trying to improve anymore. You are replacing who you used to be. Old identity. Easily offended, emotionally reactive, seeking validation, avoiding discomfort. New identity. Calm under pressure. Emotionally controlled, self-sufficient, disciplined. You cannot become strong while holding on to weakness. You must let it go completely. Identity exercise. Close your eyes for a moment and ask yourself, who do I become if nothing can disturb me? See that version of you. Calm, focused, unshaken. Now hold that image. Because that is who you are building. Most people react instantly, without thinking, without control. But you will train something different. The rule: delay every reaction. Someone provokes you, pause. Someone insults you, pause. Something goes wrong, pause. That pause is your power. Deep training. At first, it feels unnatural. You want to react. At first, it feels unnatural. You want to react. You feel the urge. The emotion rises. But you don't follow it, you observe it, and over time, that urge weakens. And your control strengthens. The weight of words. Words only hurt if you give them meaning. Someone calls you something, an insult, a label, a judgment. Ask yourself, does this define me? If not, it has no power. Stoic. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every comment deserves your energy. Most things deserve nothing. Deserve nothing. The world is chaotic. Always has been. Always will be. People will act unpredictably. Situations will change suddenly. Nothing is stable, except one thing. You. If your peace depends on the world, you will never have peace. But if your peace comes from within, nothing can take it. Take a deep breath. Slowly, breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Again, let your mind slow down. Let your thoughts settle. Repeat silently. I am not my thoughts. I am not my emotions. I am in control. The power of letting go. Holding on creates pain. Letting go creates freedom. You hold on to past mistakes, old pain, people who left, and it weighs on you. But ask yourself, what happens if I release this? Stoic truth. You don't lose anything by letting go, you gain peace. Reprogramming your mind. Your mind runs on patterns. Thoughts repeated over time. Old patterns. Fear, doubt, overthinking. New patterns. Clarity, control, calmness. Every thought you repeat becomes stronger. So choose wisely. Extreme ownership. Everything in your life comes back to you. Not everything is your fault, but everything is your responsibility. Your reaction, your mindset. Your growth. When you accept this, you stop blaming and start improving. Emotional immunity. Imagine this. Someone tries to provoke you, but nothing happens. No anger, no reaction, no emotional shift. They expect a reaction, but you give them nothing. That silence, that calmness, that control, is power. I am calm. I am steady. I am in control. Again, I do not react. I observe. I choose. Again, nothing disturbs me. Nothing controls me. I remain grounded. At some point, you stop trying to control everything. And you realize, you don't need to, because when you control yourself, everything else becomes easier. You walk differently. You think differently. You respond differently. Life still happens. Challenges still come. People still act the same. But you are no longer the same. Take one last deep breath. And understand this. You don't need the world to change. You don't need people to change. You don't need circumstances to change. You only need to master yourself. Because once you do, nothing can affect you again. I control my mind, and that is enough.